Sounds
So
good to
Mike,
me. I think it's you, Alex. All right, we are going live on Facebook. Just so
anyway,
you know.
sorry.
It may be you, Alex.
I'm hearing everyone loud and clear. That's okay.
So, oh, great. So I'll start and let Sam, who's our presenter, Sam Bryson, go, then Henry, and I'm only seeing two hands. But
And
please
Cheryl.
introduce yourself. You only get about 41 seconds.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sam, then Henry.
Okay, I'm going to start my timer now then. Hi everyone, I'm Sam Bryson. I am based in the DC area. I'm a DMV native and I'm also an EOS implementer, which means I help business owners get what they want from their businesses. And happy to be here today. Thank you for having me and for this opportunity to share a little bit more about EOS with you.
Thank you, Sam. Henry, and then Cheryl.
Hi, good morning. I'm Henry Ching. I'm based in Fairfax, Virginia. I'm a fractional COO integrator. I'm also in the EOS business, just like Sam. So it just was a unique circumstance that we're both here today. And I help visionary founders, owners of business get out of the pain of running their business every day.
Thank you. Welcome. Cheryl.
I'm Cheryl Bedard. I run my own executive search firm, so I'm in the business of connecting people. I like to say I help talented executives connect with deserving companies, and I'm here to see how I can be helpful to others.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. We depend on folks coming on a regular basis to join us to add to the brainstorming that goes on in our sessions. So I hope you find it as valuable as we do, and we welcome you guys and thrilled that you're here. Next slide, please. So the Kauffman Foundation endows 1 Million Cups and has funded an organization to promote and spur entrepreneurship, to enable businesses to take risks and to learn from each other. Next slide, please. We've talked to our visitors. Anyone? Okay, so everyone take out your phone and scan the QR code so that you register, so that you are counted as being here by 1 Million Cups. So if you'll just take a second to use that QR code and register. Our attendance is really important because the more people we are, the more vibrant we become. The more ideas that get exchanged and the more learning that is the result. So let's increase that bar graph when each of you brings a business colleague to 1 Million Cups, perhaps next week. See if you can help us raise the bar. Next slide, please. We have great organizers and ambassadors. Everyone wears multiple hats. We're a volunteer organization for the community, run by the community. These are your leaders. Anytime you want to help and contribute to making 1 Million Cups Fairfax even better, sign on. Just ask any of the folks in those pictures. They'll give you an opportunity. I have to mention, by the way, that Alex and James and John Foster have recently joined forces and joined us as organizers. So we're thrilled. Next slide. Oh, I should mention Veterans Growing America and Fairfax County EDA. They are partners. We try to help them. They try to help us. Next slide, please.
Hey, John, you can't forget Amy Hughes.
Amy Hughes. Oh, thank you, Foster. Yes, Amy Hughes recently joined us as an organizer. Amy, you've already been there 3-4 meetings. You're like a veteran already. Oh God, I better send you some marshmallows. You don't have any
Je
of
suis
those.
désolé.
I'm trying to remember how to say sorry in French. How about in English? I'm really sorry. You're so good. You guys can read the national and local mission for a moment. And while I recover from my embarrassing faux pas, hit the next slide, damn it. Okay, this slide is important. When someone presents, you can't raise money, you can't make a pitch. You present challenges. You present ideas. I think everyone other than the newest people in the room, I can call on the phone and they'll pick up. And that may be bad judgment on their part. Some of the other Johns in the room might suggest that. But having said that, there are relationships built here that are very serious and are very important. And I welcome them. And I hope each of you new people will achieve that relationship level with the other folks. The folks in this room are serious people who like to also have fun. As I mentioned, we're run for the community, by the community, and we are radically and intentionally inclusive. Great words. Next slide, please. Jen, a quick moment on George Mason, one of two sponsors, and then of course Alex Martini is our coffee sponsor, and he'll go next.
Absolutely. If you have not heard about Mason Enterprise Center, that's a great organization. It is an ecosystem with multiple locations throughout Northern Virginia, where we meet the first Wednesday of every month in person and also virtually. Is actually at Mason Enterprise Center, Fairfax. It's at Eaton Place. Eddie Hill is the director there. I highly encourage you to take a tour of the location facility. Think of them as an incubator and an organization that can help your business grow. What makes them different from other organizations or incubators? They actually have 18 dedicated mentors who are available for business owners there. You can have a virtual membership. You can have an office space. You can have an office space for a small team. They have a beautiful facility. It's recently been built out for them specifically. They also have wet labs. So if you have a biotech company, that might also be of interest to know about. But I encourage you to reach out to Eddie Hill. I'll put their website in chat, mec-fairfax.org. They are, again, a great partner for us, and you do not have to have gone to George Mason to be there. That just happens to be one of their strategic, not only partners, but that is where they sit within George Mason, Office of Innovation, Research, and Economic Impact, I believe. So learn more about them. And with that, I'll hand it over to Alex.
Good morning, everyone. Wonderful crowd. My name is Alex Mazzini. I am a certified franchise coach. By next Wednesday, when we all get together, I'm happy to say our rebranding would be completed and Franchise Select will become Wintuity. We acquired back in July a commercial finance company that now allows us to provide working capital financing to our franchise owners who are clients and even those who are non-clients. As a franchise coach, my team and I provide highly customized coaching to aspiring entrepreneurs, along with researching their markets and obviously for business lines that are needed. And we, based on our profile of the clients, not who they are today, but as a business owner, we recommend franchise opportunities for them. Thank you.
Thank you to George Mason and Alex, to you for being our coffee sponsor. This is a great slide. Everybody in the room can really help our presenter as well as each other by writing in the chat your ideas, your suggestions, your questions, as you raise your hand to be recognized to ask that question or make that suggestion. That way we have a running tally of everyone's great ideas. And while we're chatting right now, please make sure your contact information is in the chat, so we also have that information. Next slide, please. So we'll put you on mute. You can go to the next slide. And this is so important because all of us need to be so careful when we address either the presenter or each other. We may disagree on a point of view, but there are ways to say it. Sam, I hate what you said. It was really dumb. Okay, that won't work in our room. So I think everyone understands that. We can go to the next slide, please. Hey, I'm excited to turn the mic over to Sam, who's been nice enough to come here. Brought to you by one of our fearless leaders, Jen Dalton. And excited, Jen will moderate. Sam, thank you so much. I'll let you do your own introduction. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Sam Bryson.
Thank you, John. I think Jen wanted us to guess where you were from, though, especially for the new people. So I'll be vulnerable and go first. New York is my guess.
So I even went on mute. Yeah, yes, sir. Been gone longer than I was there, but still. It's attitude.
All right.
That's what makes John Norris
him as
amazing.
a native New Yorker. He's a Jerseyite. Get out.
Now I am, yeah. It's
Well,
hard to
I'm a New
follow.
Yorker.
All right, let's stay on point,
Get him
guys. Let's
out.
stay on point. Let's stay on point. We're recorded.
All right. Well, thank you all for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Just wanted to test Jen's faith in me. Hopefully you are seeing my presentation on your screens. Excellent. All right. My first one of the day is not letting Jen down. Extremely important. I'm going to check that one off. Wonderful to be with you all today. And John, thank you for the introduction to 1 Million Cups. I think this, given what you shared, this presentation is in the vein of sharing ideas. And certainly that's my goal today. My hope is that each of you walks out with a new idea or a new tool that you can put to work in your business or your organization that's going to help you get where you want to go. And as I said, I'm a DMV native, now an EOS implementer. And when I tell people that, usually the first question I get is this one. What the heck is EOS? People ask me. So just quick, so I can gauge where people are in the room. Hands up if you have heard of EOS before. All right, we got a couple people there. And then hands up if you have experience using EOS in a business or have worked in a business that has been running on EOS. Anybody? Looks like, all right, I don't see any hands. Okay, excellent. Thanks for the context. So the way I explain EOS to folks who ask, EOS is a model with tools and a process to help business owners and their leadership teams get what they want from their business. Typically, these are growth-minded entrepreneurs and leadership teams, as opposed to folks who prefer to have a lifestyle type of business. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But what I want to start seeding with you all is that EOS can be very helpful, but it is not for everyone. So that's a little bit about what EOS is. And when people begin to use the tools, we always prompt them with a question. And the question is this: are you willing to become your best? And specifically, are you willing to become your best as a leadership team and as a company? Again, not everybody is, and that's completely fine. But for those that this question resonates with, it's a good indicator that some of these tools can be helpful to you. And so to put some more color on what does best look like, I'm talking about the 5% of businesses, the top 5%, the ones who lead markets, shape industries, and drive things forward. And there are a couple of other non-business related analogies that I think of when I think of what I'm talking about when I talk about this 5%. For those of you who are movie fans or fans of science fiction, this is one that comes to mind for me. This is Neo from The Matrix. And when I think of Neo, I think of control. I think he completely understands the environment that he is in and is able to shape it in the way he sees fit. It's difficult to do, but he's firmly in control. Another person that I think of when I think of that is this person, Oprah Winfrey. She has started with a talk show, moved on to lots of other business interests, has incredible influence, but always seems to know what's next and where to go. So when I think about those top 5% of businesses, this is a non-business analogy to get you thinking about what I'm talking about. The rest of us, and I include myself here sometimes because being a business owner is extremely difficult, the 95%, most days we're more like this. We're just sitting on the train, trying to get that next piece of track down in front so we can keep moving forward. It can feel a little bit like we're on a hamster wheel. So that's the 95%. And if this is you or if this is somebody you know, EOS is designed to help you transition from just laying the tracks down to getting more control of a business. Typical frustrations that EOS addresses and can be helpful for. First, I talked about it, lack of control, and that analogy. If you always feel like your business is running you or someone else is driving and you want to be in the driver's seat, that's one common frustration that EOS helps with. The second is lack of profit. So if there's not enough profit in your business or you're not breaking even, the tools and the model and the process that I mentioned earlier help put you on a path to getting better in that area as well. Another one, I'm sure you guys can't relate to this at all, right, is people. A lot of businesses have people, and people are a very common frustration for business owners. Either people aren't following you, or people don't seem to get where you want to go or take your organization. And the tools are designed to help you mitigate that, to break through that, and align people clearly around where you want to go and attract people that are going to help you get there. Another concept, we call it hitting the ceiling. So this is this feeling that your organization is going along, things are going great, then all of a sudden you get stuck. There's an objective that you can't achieve, or you're trying to get to a certain growth level and you just can't get there. That's a normal part of every business's growth. Businesses, like humans, don't grow in a linear fashion. We grow in what we call periods of evolution and revolution. So there was a study done a few decades ago called the evolution of business or the growth of organizations, and it introduced this concept that those periods of evolution are gradual change, then you get stuck and you have to go through a period of revolution where things get uncomfortable and you have to make changes in order to continue growing. The other option is that you get to that point and get stuck and you kind of flatline, or as many businesses experience, you fail. And over 50% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. And so that's a little bit about that concept. And then the final one is business owners and teams who've tried everything. And when I say everything, I mean they've read every business book, they've tried individual techniques that are taught in those business books. But for some reason, those things don't stick. They don't persist in their organizations. Nothing is working. EOS is designed to help with that. It's a comprehensive set of tools and a way of operating your business that's designed to help things stick and get traction. So those are common frustrations that EOS addresses. And I talked about the model. I'm going to introduce that to you now. So EOS was created by a gentleman by the name of Gino Wickman, a lifelong entrepreneur from the Detroit area. And he lived all the elements of the entrepreneurial journey, started a business, joined a family business, turned around a family business, exited a family business. And through that process, he really decided that his passion area was figuring out what makes truly great businesses run, started working with entrepreneurial businesses, and discovered that no matter what industry you're in or what type of customer base you serve, there are really 6 things that you have to get really good at in order to get what you want. And so I'm going to introduce the 6 things. They make up the EOS model. And the model always starts with the business at the center. The first thing that we call them key components of your business. The first key component is vision. So vision is all about determining where your organization is going and exactly how it's going to get there, and then getting everybody in your organization 100% on the same page with how that's going to happen. Oftentimes, the issue in businesses is not that there is no vision, but that the leadership team has different versions of the vision. And the idea here is to get everybody on the same page. That's when you can really make progress. Second key component is the people component. You can't achieve a great vision without great people. And great people is a generic term. And the discovery here is that every organization defines great people differently. And so what the EOS tools and the process help you do is define what great people look like for your unique organization, and then figure out how you attract and retain those great people and how you repel people who are not good fits for your company. The third key component is the data component. Data is all about running your business on objective facts and information, as opposed to the opinions, emotions, egos that can sometimes dominate decision-making in an entrepreneurial organization. And when you strengthen these first three components, so you've got clear vision, you've got everybody on the same page, you've got great people, and you're running your business on objective facts and information, your organization becomes very transparent. And the opportunities you can take advantage of, the struggles and the problems that you need to tackle, all come to the surface, as opposed to being hidden under people's desks or behind their email or within their personal ego about their area of responsibility. And we call all those things in EOS issues. And so strengthening the issues component is just about making sure that you get really good at identifying your issues and then jointly committing to solving them, making them go away forever. Typically, that means that you have to have the courage to make a decision. Deciding can be very difficult for certain people and leaders because there's a lot of information to sort through. But issues is about making sure you commit to decide, you commit to making those things go away forever so that you're not stuck in this cycle of solving the same set of 136 issues over and over again. So that's issues. The fifth key component is the process component. Process is about getting the most important work in your organization done the right and best way every time. Process often induces eye rolls. It's difficult to do right, and people have checkered experiences with it. But if you can get process right, that's what creates scalability in your business, repeatability. It makes the business easier to manage. It also tends to make you more profitable. And it definitely makes the business more fun to be a part of when the process is working correctly. So that's process. And then the final key component we call traction. So traction is about bringing your vision down to the ground level, executing on it day in and day out with discipline and accountability. You'll notice vision's at the top of the model, traction's at the bottom, just to reinforce. That's what those two concepts are about. Vision, defining where you're going. It's that 30,000-foot view. Traction, bringing it down to the ground, actually making it real. And the vision for most entrepreneurs, unfortunately, goes unrealized primarily because of weakness in the traction component. And so the tools and disciplines and the process of EOS is designed to help make sure that doesn't happen by giving you ways to make sure that you make traction or get traction and move forward. So those are the 6 key components of the business, and that's the EOS model. I'm going to stop for questions here just briefly. Anything so far, reactions, things from the group? Amy raised a hand.
I feel like I should have heard this presentation 10 years ago before I started my first company. So I'm glad I'm hearing it now, because up until now, EOS was just my favorite convertible. So thank you.
A Volkswagen fan. Excellent. Let's see, Melinda, and I think
Alex Martini.
Sam, this is brilliant. Like Amy said, I wish I had seen this and become a part of your organization 30 years ago. Well done.
Thank you. Melinda.
What I love about this is the whole process of it. And was just wondering, when you take your clients through the different steps, do you take them through using SWOTs and other types of processes to help them achieve where they're going because they may not know where they're going. They may not be visionary enough to visionize or predict the future of where their business can go. They may just see it as a niche.
It's a great question. I would answer it this way. Yes, there is a process that we recommend that any business owner use when they want to implement EOS in the business. It's designed to get to the end result that you articulated there. The other thing I'd say is that as implementers, one of our key and sort of a general EOS philosophy as well, we believe that the answers to those questions typically are in the room or with the leadership team. And it's a matter of facilitating that common answer that's best for the team. We are definitely not, as we say, answer people. In other words, like we are not, our role and EOS's role is not to recommend a particular strategy or a particular tactic. The tools are designed to help get to that common alignment and understanding, if that makes sense.
Can you draw out that strategy from if they haven't figured it out?
Yes, I can. I will. If you just give me a minute, I'll grab it for you. So can we come back to it?
Absolutely. I would say we can take one last question, then I think Sam, you have a few more slides before we wrap, and then we'll go to open Q&A.
Okay, John.
Thank you, Sam. Love the presentation. In the inner circle where it says your business is where us leaders or lack of leaders stand, trying to pull this whole thing together. So what happens when you run into someone who's not a good leader?
A great question. Up there in the top left, the people component is about getting the right people in the right seats. And oftentimes, one of the key things that comes to the surface or teams realize when they're in the EOS process is exactly what you talked about, that they have a wrong or weak leader where they need a strong leader. And there are two ways to resolve that, right? First is, do you believe that this person is a right person for your organization? Do they fit your core values? Are they somebody you want to invest in coaching and growing? If you do, then that's certainly one path to helping that person become strong, and there are EOS tools to teach what we believe strong leadership is all about. And then the converse would be potentially they're a weak leader and somebody who you find isn't really somebody who belongs in the business. In that case, we're counseling and coaching clients to exit those individuals, find somebody who does fit and somebody who can do what you need to do.
Thank you.
Okay, Jen, thank you for the prompt. I have a few additional slides, which I'll go through quickly. I just thought, as I described each of these components at a high level, and some of those concepts landed with you all, I would take a few minutes just to show you what one of our tools specifically looks like. So returning to the vision component, again, that's everybody on the same page with where the organization is going, how it's going to get there. We use a discipline called the 8 questions in order to achieve that. And the 8 questions we house on a document we call the Vision Traction Organizer. So this is a simplified entrepreneurial approach to strategic planning. I mentioned 8 questions. In the orange boxes in front of you, you see the first 5 of the 8 questions. What are your core values? What is your core focus? What is your 10-year target? What is your marketing strategy? And what is your 3-year picture? So just to take those each about 30 seconds. So core values, I imagine most of you are familiar with that term, but just to clarify, those are the norms and behaviors you expect from the culture of the organization. So the point here is to define and discover your core values and then use the tools to make sure that you're attracting people and retaining people who fit those core values and repelling people who do not. Core focus is what you're best at or your sweet spot as an organization. Some folks have used the term mission statement or hedgehog concept to convey a similar idea, but the core focus is who you are at the core. What is your purpose, cause, or passion as an organization? And what is your niche? And the key there is to define it and stay laser focused on it. Oftentimes we can get distracted by things that aren't truly core to what we do and we can do well. And the idea here is that focus is what helps you grow. The 10-year target is a long range, one sentence, high level goal, what your organization is going to accomplish. The time frame can be flexible, but the idea is here to get you thinking about not just this year, not just next year, but long term. It's usually expressed in one sentence. What do you want to accomplish? And then the marketing strategy is helping you maximize your sales and marketing dollars by helping you define exactly who you should talk to and what you should say to that audience. There are 4 parts to the marketing strategy. You can see them there. So the target market, who is your ideal prospect? The demographic, geographic, psychographic profile of the type of business or individual you should be proactively marketing to because they're likely to be buyers of your service. Then the next 3 parts are just what you say to that audience. So 3 uniques, 3 things that set you apart from the competition. The proven process is a 1-page visual illustration of the journey you take prospects on from the time that they're interested in potentially buying from you to the time that they're long-time satisfied business partners of yours. And then the guarantee, something you offer to overcome the fear of adoption in the marketplace. So those first 4 questions form the high level vision of your organization, who you are at the core, what you're best at and love doing, where you want to go long term, and how you're going to get there with that marketing strategy. Then the 5th question on the right is taking that first step, bringing the vision just one step closer to ground level, articulating a clear 3-year picture. So where does this organization need to be just 3 years from now in order to be on track for its 10-year target or long-range goal? And you'll notice this is not a 50-page PowerPoint document or extensive strategic planning document. The emphasis here is on entrepreneurial organizations. We define quickly a few quantitative outcomes. So what revenue, profit, and measurables does the organization need to achieve? And then we spend time, you see 5 to 15 bullet points there. What does it look like? So this is more of a descriptive, vivid picture of what the organization is going to look like when you achieve those things. And 2 goals here. First, to the extent that the leadership team and the owner of the business can get clear on what the 3-year picture looks like with some specificity, then the chances of achieving it go up exponentially. And then the second outcome is when you're clear where you need to be 3 years from now, then it gets much easier to plan at a more granular level, which brings me to the remaining 3 questions, which are on the next page of the VTO. We call this the traction portion of the VTO. Again, bringing the vision down closer to ground level. So just taking it left to right, a 1-year plan. So where does the organization need to be 12 months from now? Again, borrowing from the format of the 3-year picture, revenue, profit, and measurables for the organization, and then 3 to 7 goals for the year. We coach 3 to 7, not 37, because as I'm sure you all can have an appreciation of, less is more. And when everything's a priority, nothing is a priority. So those are 3 to 7 things, the most important things that we need to accomplish this year to move the organization meaningfully towards the 3-year picture. And then in the middle, you see rocks. So we chunk up that 1-year plan into 4 90-day execution units. And rocks are 90-day business priorities. So we set them at the company level, again, 3 to 7. What are the 3 to 7 things we need to accomplish this quarter in order to meaningfully move the organization towards the 1-year plan? Who's accountable for them? We set 3 to 7 at the company level, and then each individual leader also takes a few individual rocks. And the idea there is that 90 days is about the length of time that most of us can focus. It gets longer, then ultimately that can lead to procrastination. It becomes so far away that we think we don't need to do anything today. But 90 days is long enough to accomplish something meaningful beyond just the day-to-day of the organization. So we work and coach clients to a 90-day execution cadence in their companies. And then Jen has a question.
I think this is fantastic. We're probably, I think, at a good point to pause and open it up to Q&A. Sam, does that make
Sounds
sense?
good.
I'll go ahead and
Absolutely.
stop live stream as well. Give me one.